What up, guys? Today we are jumping into Absolute 2.0 and I am using one of my favorite bulwark builds here, the heavy bolt pistol with the power sword. This power sword does not match my actual setup right now because I have a Blood Angels chest piece and the shoulder, honestly, that shoulder pad, the Blood Angels one is so nice. But okay, yeah, of course we have Inspiration, Invigorating Icon, two of my favorite perks for Bulwark. Purity of Purpose is probably my favorite perk. I love Purity of Purpose, it's so good. Focus Restoration we are just kind of trying out here. Armor Reinforcement is also nice. Scramble Targeting, I'm just trying to make sure I have a little bit of damage resistance. Of course, Intimidating Aura, I mean, yes, Absolute 2.0 kind of calls for it. Masterful Defense, Overcharge, Powerful Shot, you know, pretty much all the damage I need. Standard Bear is honestly one of my favorite perks as well, so we're fairly tanky, and we are also putting out a lot of damage. And the heavy bolt pistol is a great gun strike weapon, so I felt really confident just really, you know, getting parries, getting gun strikes, and I figured that would put me in a pretty good position here. And we do have a tactical and a vanguard here, so overall I think we were pretty good, and I think, like, as far as, you know, what enemies to look for, we can kind of pretty much approach everything. However, I would admit that, you know, running into a Neurothrope, which is guaranteed in Absolute 2.0, I think, I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed, is going to be a little difficult to deal with. And also, right here, we pretty much start off with separating, which is unfortunate. I think the Vanguard goes down there, and unfortunately takes on too much and goes down. Now, here's the thing about Absolute 2.0. I highly do not recommend jumping into Absolute 2.0 when you are under-leveled, and what I mean is it's not even about prestige perks anymore. I feel like just being level 25 definitely puts you in a better position in Absolute 2.0. Prestige perks are pretty important. I would say, you know, getting, you know, level 25 prestige 4 is more important for wave 15 of hard siege mode. But right now in Absolute 2.0, if you are under-leveled, you are going to be in a pretty tough position unless you know what you are doing. And we actually run into a fair amount of players who join this operation, unfortunately, because, yeah, a lot of people jumped in and out, and they did not have team perks, so sometimes it got pretty rough. But hey, regardless, what I am doing here is because I am level 25 Prestige 4. Nah, not everything is about levels. I understand that. But when it comes to Absolute 2.0, you want to make sure you have some key perks here. And honestly, we do have some pretty good perks here. We do, I believe, since Focus Restoration, Unmatched Zeal, and I honestly kind of forget what the tactical ends up using here. But I believe we're getting extra range damage, which is honestly kind of nice with the heavy bolt pistol. But anyway, the team comp is okay. But what I think ended up happening in this operation where things started to get ugly is here. So unfortunately, the Vanguard right now has a mortal wound, and it's me and the tactical against this Neurothrope. Well, the Vanguard's still here. The Vanguard is still here, don't get me wrong, for now. But like what ends up happening here is the Vanguard ends up going down. Me and the tactical are pretty much stuck in between the Neurothrope, and as long as I'm taking out the mobs, we should be good. But we're also using a lot of ammo. And now, consider this. This is the first Terminus of Absolute 2.0. And of course, within the new changes of Absolute 2.0, what is going to happen is we're also going to run into another Terminus. And yeah, there we go. There's the Vanguard that goes down. And now at this point, what I'm trying to do is take out as many majors as I can, at least off the board. And we can actually get that respawn going a little bit faster, which is, you know, kind of nice. Boom, we were actually able to kind of protect ourselves here. Now, here's the thing. I don't have advanced conditioning because what I wanted to do was really try out Focus Restoration, first of all. But I was also really confident in, you know, dropping Icon and healing myself, especially with my teammates. So what I'm really trying to do here is find an opportunity to drop Banner with me and my teammate. And yes, of course, I get hit by one of the AoEs there, so I just drop it. I try to get full health because I don't have any armor, and I was honestly very worried about that. And keep in mind, if you're under this banner, you are getting more damage. So at the very least, I am increasing my teammates' damage. But yes, I did miss out on dropping the icon there. However, I mean, he still would have lost the health anyway because he did get death beamed, and unfortunately, the banner. Dude, honestly, getting the thing about Purity of Purpose is what I am sacrificing with Purity of Purpose is getting armor back quicker with the banner, and honestly, that is very powerful. It is a very powerful perk. There's so many good perks with banner that don't really center around icon, and unfortunately with icon, since your cooldown on the banner is slower, what ends up happening is you feel like you get less benefits with your banner because you're dropping it less often. Well, considering that is without any sort of cooldown support, and now with Bulwark right now, I just want to make sure that I can get some melee damage here. And yes, here is where they can now take damage instead of, I think right now they have damage resistance instead of having iframes. And you can kind of see that health is a little bit hefty on the Neurothrope. And you can also, keep an eye on my ammo because, of course, we are going to run into another Terminus enemy. And honestly, as long as I have some ammo, my contested health should be fine. Ultimately, the heavy bolt pistol is a very powerful weapon. But yeah, without banner here, I kind of had a tough time trying to figure out what I should really be focusing on. So I kind of just reacted to the Neurothrope, and the Vanguard ends up going down here. I'm not too sure what ended up happening here, which is unfortunate. I actually initially thought the Vanguard was AFK, but I'm genuinely not 100% sure what ended up happening with that Vanguard. And yes, we did see the AoEs, but if they ended up spawning in and just like dying, that's kind of rough. So yeah, right there I wanted to check. I was like, wait, what is this? what is going on with this Vanguard? Yeah, I wanted to check out their prestige perks and everything, and then I noticed that the tactical didn't have any prestige perks, but they were level 25, doing absolute 2.0. So that is what kind of occurred to me, that maybe having high level is more important than the prestige perks when it comes to absolute 2.0. But I guess that really just depends on what you are doing and ultimately what builds you're using. Because I think Purification, you can get that pretty early and also stay pretty, you can stay pretty healthy with Purification. And boom, okay, so then the Vanguard dies again. Once the Vanguard dies again, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna end up leaving or something, because yeah, they end up leaving, and then what ends up happening here is kind of hilarious. This is where I kind of started to have enough with this, because like that Vanguard had unmatched zeal. I like really figured that Vanguard should have stuck it out with us, but they just kept dying. So honestly, it was probably in our favor for them not to be on our team. But yep, that is a sniper. That is a sniper that joins the game without a team perk, and we immediately kick him. So here's some therapy for you guys who are running into players without team perks and just joining absolute 2.0. Also under-leveled, I think, which is crazy. Honestly, that's crazy for sniper, because it's like, dude, that extra headshot damage can go a long way. But yeah, unfortunately, the tactical ends up going down. So I ended up running into the Carnifex, and I pretty much just dodged all the way here because I figured, hey, you know what? This might be a pretty good position for me to fight this Carnifex in. And honestly, I'm not too sure what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking I was going to jump off the bridge or something, but it did not end. This Carnifex did not end up jumping off the bridge. And basically what we have here is a corner. We have a corner and some hallways. We actually have multiple corners, I guess. And luckily, we do end up getting a sniper to join the game who had a team perk, and at that point, I was just very happy to see that because this was looking pretty dangerous. Again, keep an eye on my ammo. We were able to deal with the Neurothrope, but we were playing around an ammo box. Consider that. And not to mention the tactical teammate that we have, who is going to respawn soon. I think they're under a minute, which is nice. And so the heavy bolt pistol here, you can see it's actually doing some okay damage. But you can definitely see how much tankier the Carnifex is right now. And right now, we don't have like a scan on it. We don't really have anything too crazy. Honestly, it's also a 2v1. And I still think it's pretty wild seeing how much tankier they are in Absolute 2.0. Now, with that said, with that said, I had a lot of fun. I 100% had a lot of fun, but I was also using a powerful build as well. So I really hope the devs are satisfied with the balance of everything in the game, because I think it's in a pretty good balance. Because as you can see right there in that situation, did Invigorating Icon feel overpowered? You know what I mean? It really did not. It felt like it was actually in a pretty, you know, appropriate spot for the situation. But yeah, I admit, it's a lot more fun. Absolute 2.0 is a lot more fun, but you can tell it's a lot harder. And the thing is, we're definitely going to have to start, like, having zero tolerance policies about being underleveled or, you know, anything. Like, honestly, joining without a team perk is crazy for Absolute 2.0. That is insane. So, yeah, if you see that stuff often, don't be afraid to start kicking people, because I feel like at this point, it's like, it's Absolute 2.0. This stuff is very hard. We want to make sure we make it through, you know? And honestly, in Siege mode, yeah, that's, okay, so I was like 13 bullets, something around there. I was like pretty much that many bullets away of just like not having any ammo. But yeah, with Siege mode recently, I've noticed a lot of players just opting in for the first 5 waves and leaving as well, which is kind of weird. And, dude, everything's very, like, it's obviously, like, I've seen players who've been level 25 for Siege 4 just leave Siege games within the first 5 waves. I don't really know what's going on. So some people are joining Absolute 2.0 from being away for a long time, and like I get it, but like sometimes it's just like, dude, right now I'm trying to win, man. Honestly, at this point, as long as you get the 2 Terminus enemies down, then I really don't care who's in the game as far as like team perks or whatever you're using. It's really those first 2 Terminus enemies that kind of can make it a pain if you're just kind of like playing alone, or, you know, without somebody who knows what they're doing, yada yada yada, whatever you want to, you know, point the finger at, I guess. Ultimately, it does come down to skill level, and it does come down to how comfortable you look at that spore mine catching that crack grenade, crazy. But it does come down to skill level, and I understand level might not really mean everything. Oh yeah, this is me just showing off that shield and how good it looks with everything here. I do end up, you know, coloring in the cloth and switching out the power sword skin. It looks so good. The Blood Angel's cosmetics look so good. It's the paint. I think it's the paint that really gets me. Also, yeah, the sniper knew what they're doing. I dropped intimidating aura there, and they healed with purification. So yeah, it's not all about level. I understand that. But at a certain point, you really want to jump into Absolute 2.0 with people who know what they're doing, just because it's a little bit more fun. Like, as you can see with that interaction with the sniper being able to heal themselves from intimidating aura. Sorry, with Icon. Yeah, sorry. It's been a long day and been very hot. But yeah, dude, put up really good damage numbers. Honestly, new Absolute 2.0 is very fun, but it's only fun playing with people who know what they're doing as far as like randoms go and everything. Hey, but maybe one day I'll solo it. But for now, I really want to get comfortable with it. And yeah, look how good this Blood Angel Bulwark looks, dude. Yeah, I do end up coloring in that cloth, which is nice. And yeah, for whatever reason, I had a bug here. But yeah, regardless, this was really fun. Thanks for watching.